Have you ever heard of a place where ships and aeroplanes just disappear? Poof! Gone without a trace. Well, many people talk about such a place. They call it the Bermuda Triangle. It is one of America's most talked about mysterious spots, even though it is in the ocean. So many stories come from this area, stories that make you wonder, is it a truly dangerous place, or just a place with many tales? People have been asking this question for a very, very long time. It captures the imagination, doesn't it? Making us all think about the unknown things in our world. So where is this Bermuda Triangle, you ask? It is not a small pond, no. It is a very big area in the Atlantic Ocean. If you look at a map of America, you will find Florida. The triangle is off the southeastern coast of Florida. It stretches out into the big blue waters. This part of the ocean is very busy. Many ships sail through it, going to different countries. Airplanes also fly over it all the time, carrying people and goods. It is a major route for travel and for business, which makes the stories even more puzzling for everyone. Now, why is it called a triangle? It is because people imagine 3 points that make a shape like a triangle on the water. One point is the island of Bermuda, which is a small group of islands. Another point is near Miami, in Florida, which is in America. And the third point is San Juan, which is in Puerto Rico. If you draw lines connecting these 3 places on a map, you will get a big triangle. This whole area inside the lines is what they call the Bermuda Triangle. It covers a very large part of the ocean, many square kilometers, full of deep water and changing weather. But here is a funny thing. The Bermuda Triangle is not an official name. You will not find Bermuda Triangle written on most maps of the world. Governments do not officially call it that. It is a name that writers and storytellers started using. They used it because so many strange things seem to happen there. So it is more of a nickname, a spooky nickname for a part of the ocean. Even though it's not official, everyone knows what you mean when you say Bermuda Triangle. It has become famous all over the world for its mysteries. The Bermuda Triangle is famous because many ships and aeroplanes have disappeared there. It is not just 1 or 2, but many over the years. Some of these stories are very well known. They are the ones that made people start calling it a mysterious place. Imagine a big ship sailing along and then suddenly it is gone. Or a group of aeroplanes flying and they just vanish from the radar. These are the kinds of stories that come from the Bermuda Triangle. It is like they just sailed or flew into another world, never to be seen again by anyone. One of the most famous stories is about Flight 19. This happened a long time ago, in December 1945. 5 American Navy airplanes called bombers took off from Florida. They were on a training flight. There were 14 men in those planes. After some time, the leader of the flight started saying strange things on the radio. He said his compasses were not working. He said he did not know where they were. Then all communication was lost. The Navy sent a rescue plane to look for them, but that rescue plane also disappeared. It was a very sad and puzzling day for everyone. Another very famous story is about a big ship called the USS Cyclops. This was a huge American Navy ship, more than 165 meters long. It was carrying a heavy load of manganese ore. In March 1918, during World War I, it left Barbados, an island in the Caribbean. It was sailing towards Baltimore in America, but it never arrived. The USS Cyclops and all 309 people on board disappeared without sending any distress signal, any SOS message. No one knows for sure what happened to it. It was one of the biggest losses of life for the US Navy, not involving any fighting. These are just 2 of the most famous stories, but there are many others. Some are about small boats, some about private planes. Sometimes ships were found floating with no one on board, like ghost ships. People called this the Devil's Triangle too. Each time something disappeared, the mystery grew bigger and bigger. It made people think that there must be something very strange about this part of the ocean. The number of unexplained incidents seemed too high for just bad luck, making the legend grow stronger with each passing year and with each new tale told. Because so many ships and planes vanished, people started coming up with all sorts of ideas. They tried to explain why these strange things were happening in the Bermuda Triangle. Many of these ideas were very spooky and imaginative, like something from a science fiction story. People love a good mystery, isn't it? And the Bermuda Triangle offered a very big one. So, imaginations ran wild, thinking of all the possibilities. Could it be monsters from the deep sea? Or perhaps something from outer space? These were the questions people asked. Some people believed that aliens from other planets were taking the ships and planes. They thought maybe the aliens had a base under the ocean, or perhaps they were just curious and wanted to study humans and their machines. Another popular idea was that there were sea monsters living in the deep waters of the triangle, giant squids or unknown creatures that could pull whole ships down. There was also the idea of the lost city of Atlantis. Some said Atlantis was located there, and its advanced technology was causing the disappearances, maybe by accident. These strange ideas became very popular. Writers wrote books about the Bermuda Triangle, full of scary stories and wild theories. Movies were made, and television shows talked about it all the time. This made the Bermuda Triangle even more famous around the world. Everyone was talking about it. The books would list all the disappearances, making them sound very mysterious. They often left out any normal explanations, focusing only on the strange parts. This helped to build up the legend and make people believe something supernatural was truly at play in these waters. Other spooky beliefs included things like electronic fog. Some pilots who flew through the area and survived told stories of a strange, thick fog. They said their electronic instruments went crazy inside this fog. Some even talked about time warps, thinking that ships and planes were entering different dimensions or traveling through time. Imagine flying your plane and suddenly finding yourself in a different year. These kinds of stories added to the fear and the fascination. It made the Bermuda Triangle sound like a place where the normal rules of science did not apply at all, a truly paranormal zone. While spooky stories are exciting, scientists like to look for real reasons. They have studied the Bermuda Triangle to see if there are any sensible explanations for the disappearances. And guess what? They have found some. Many scientists think that the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle are not so mysterious after all. They believe that natural causes and human mistakes can explain most of the incidents. It is important to remember that this area of the ocean sees a lot of ships and aeroplanes, so more accidents might happen there just because it is so busy, you see. One big explanation is the weather. The Bermuda Triangle is known for very bad storms. Hurricanes can suddenly appear in this region with very strong winds and huge waves. These storms can easily sink ships and cause airplanes to crash. There are also something called rogue waves. These are giant waves that can appear without warning, much bigger than other waves around them. A rogue wave could easily swallow a small ship or damage a big one. The Gulf Stream current also flows through this area, and it is very strong and can cause problems for navigation if not accounted for properly. Another interesting scientific idea is about methane gas. Scientists have found that there can be large amounts of methane gas trapped under the seabed in some parts of the ocean. Sometimes this gas can bubble up to the surface. If a ship is sailing over an area where a lot of methane gas is suddenly released, the water can become less dense. This means the ship might not be able to float anymore and could sink very quickly, without even having time to send a distress signal. This theory is quite fascinating, isn't it? It is a natural event that could cause a sudden disaster. Finally, human error is a very common cause of accidents everywhere, not just in the Bermuda Triangle. Pilots and ship captains can make mistakes. They might get lost, or their equipment might break down. In the old days, navigation tools were not as good as they are today. So, it was easier to get lost, especially in bad weather or in such a vast expanse of ocean. Many of the older stories, when investigated carefully, show that there were often reports of bad weather or known problems with the ship or plane before it disappeared. So perhaps the explanations are not so out of this world after all. The question still remains for many. Is the Bermuda Triangle truly a uniquely dangerous enigma, or are the tales simply more captivating than the everyday realities of the sea?